Hey there yogis, I'm Nicole. Welcome back to my yoga time. Thanks for joining me today. Today I have a super short yoga practice for you. This one's for the whole body, and I've also got 2 yoga blocks. I'm only going to use one block at the end for an upper back bend. So if you've only got one block, take a hold of a pillow as well, or maybe a rolled up towel, just in case you need the extra prop. If you don't have any blocks at all, then get yourself a rolled up towel, roll it up nice and tight, and we'll use it behind the shoulders towards the end of the class. So we're going to start seated. When you're ready, we'll take a seated variation of our pigeon pose. So begin with your left leg straight and place your right ankle above the knee if you can. And then if it's an option for you, bend that left leg. So the closer you bring the left heel in towards the bottom, the deeper you're going to feel that in the outer right hip. So you're just coming in as far as is comfortable for you. And if you have the urge to take a little rock like I'm doing, feel free to do so. Otherwise, you might like to hold it still. So remember that the quality of your practice is determined by the quality of your breath. So even though it's only short and sweet, let's make sure that we're breathing mindfully, deeply. Find your yogi diaphragmatic belly breath. And if you'd like longer here, feel free to take it. Otherwise, we're going to straighten out that left leg again. Roll onto the left leg only and lift your right buttock off the mat. So you're sitting on the left leg only. It's an open twist. Right arm to the inside of the right leg and create a little bit of resistance there. Let's deepen the breath to deepen the pose. Now you might choose to stay here if you're looking for something a little stronger and you've no concerns with shoulder, elbow or wrist. We can turn those right toes forward and press up into a supported side plank. Take that right arm overhead, firming down through your right foot. And option 1 is here. Option 2, take a little flow, lower the hips down and then inhale to lift up, taking the arm back overhead. It's a wonderful little flow to help strengthen and tone the oblique muscles. And let's come all the way down now. Return to center and we'll change sides. So straightening out that right leg, drawing in your left. Bringing the right foot in as far as is comfortable for you. And it might be very different from the other side depending on any injuries or ailments that you might be nursing. If you've got that right heel quite close to the buttocks and you're still looking for something deeper, you can lower your left foot down a little. And let's straighten out the right leg now. Coming into your open twist, sitting only on your right leg. Left buttock is off the floor. Option 1 is here. Option 2, press up into your side plank and feel free to take the flow if you did so on the other side. And let's lower down. You can cross both legs there, roll over the knees, coming onto all fours into your tabletop position. Just lining those hands up underneath the shoulders, eyes of the elbows facing forward, knees under hips. Let's tuck the toes, inhale into your back bend, exhale to round out the spine. Continue to move with your breath. And next time you round the spine, we'll lift those hips up and back, downward facing dog. Feel free to keep a strong bend in the knees and send your chest towards your thighs. Hold here as you inhale. And then exhale, knees return to the mat. Inhale into the back bend. Exhale to round the spine. So we're going to do 2 more. Lifting up into your downward facing dog. You might be able to straighten the legs a little more this time. Exhaling, knees to the mat. Holding our downward facing dog this time, let's inhale the right leg up into a three-legged dog. Option to keep the hips square and the legs straight. Otherwise, a little deeper in the hips if you stack the right hip on top of the left. Bend the knee. Knee is pointing up towards the ceiling. Flexing the right foot as though you're trying to kick something away. And taking the gaze, the drishti, underneath the right armpit. Let's inhale. Straighten the legs, square the hips, and exhale, step through into your lunge. So when you're ready, press into both feet and bring the arms up. So to help with your balance and your stability here, you want to feel as though you're stretching the mat, pressing the feet away from one another. Arms are up, and on your next exhalation, tilt the body forward, sweep the arms past the body. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower. Last one, inhaling up. This time as we exhale and tilt the body, we're going to stay down. Tuck in your chin, reach through the fingers, and try and move ever so slightly the back of the neck up towards the ceiling. Strong and straight in your back leg. Well done. Let's lift the torso, bring the hands to prayer, pivot the feet now. You're going to bend the left knee, straighten your right leg, engage the quad, try and draw up that kneecap. And let's return. Square the hips and shoulders to the front of the mat. Low lunge, bring the left knee down to the mat, engage the buttock just a little. Lift the chin and move the throat forward. Inhale, and as you exhale, bring the hands down, lift up the left knee. We're going to step into pyramid pose, so bring your back foot a little bit closer. You can keep a bend in the front knee if you need to, and we're going to take a slight variation, point those toes up towards the ceiling. Well done. Step it back, downward facing dog. Left leg up when you're ready. Option to lift the hip, bend the knee, look under your armpit. Straighten the legs, square the hips, step it through, high lunge. Pressing into both feet and bring the arms up as you inhale. Exhale, float the arms down past the body. Active through the fingers. Inhale to lift up. Staying down this time. A long straight line from your heel to the crown of the head. Soften the jaw. And let's transition. Hips and shoulders square to the side of the room. Bend your right knee, drop the hips, straighten the left leg. And let's return to the front of the mat. Low lunge. Hands down. Pyramid pose. Step your back foot in a little bit closer. Let's point those left toes up towards the ceiling. And step it back. Downward facing dog. Feel free to give the legs a little walk out. Maybe turn the head from side to side. And when you're ready, lower those knees down to the mat. Well done, yogis. Let's come into our supported fish pose now. So I'm just going to use one block underneath the shoulders, and that block's going to be on the flat side, nothing under my head. If you don't have any blocks and you're using a rolled up towel, you're going to place that right underneath those shoulder blades. If you do need to lighten the pose, grab your second block or your pillow for your head, and you can always keep the knees bent there as well. So lowering down to your prop, arms out to the side, palms to face the ceiling. And again, you might like a few breaths with the knees bent. Otherwise, feel free to straighten and relax the legs if your back is ready to do so. Feel free to close the eyes down. Soften the forehead, the tongue and jaw. And see if you can find a sweet little pause before your next exhalation. Continue to pause each and every time now before you exhale, slowly. And let's prepare to release the pose now, bending those knees. You can either roll off to the side, coming off the blocks, or tuck in your chin, come halfway up to seated, remove the blocks, and then recline onto your back. Once on your back, take a moment with the feet as wide as the mat, knees are bent, and they're falling into touch. Feeling the meeting point between the back and the mat. Breathing into any newfound space in the body. And let's unwind our spine with a twist before we move into Shavasana. Crossing the left leg over the right leg, hips can move about 1 centimeter to the left, and then the knees will come over to the right. I always like to support the body, prop the legs with the block. If this is too intense on your hips, uncross the legs instead. You might choose to keep the bottom leg straight, or you can bend both knees with a block in between the thighs. Find your sweet spot. Let's breathe down into the lower belly and the lower back. And when you're ready, let's bring those knees back to center. Changing sides straight away. Hips can shift a touch further to the right before the knees come down to the left. And in your own time, return to your back. Moving into Shavasana, taking up as much space on the mat as you like. Shoulders tucking under, palms facing the ceiling. And I will leave you here today, yogis, in Shavasana for your final relaxation. Once again, let's soften the forehead, the tongue and jaw. And taking the next few moments to just be in this spacious body, quiet mind. Thank you for practicing with me today, yogis.